Good morning, everybody, or good afternoon, or good night to whatever time you're listening to today's episode of the Nuff podcast with your hosts, Zan and Oli. We got a great episode today, guys. We have a fantastic episode today. We're going to be talking about a lot of DC stuff. We're going to be changing it up a bit. I know we love to talk about Spider-Man. We'll hold off a bit on that this time around. Sorry, guys, because we got a lot of really cool news coming from the DC universe, specifically from James Gunn and the Elseworlds. We got Batman. We got Batman 2 versus the Brave and the Bold. Is that still happening or not? We got some Clayface news that Oli, you were actually on set and you actually got pictures of. I'm going to have you talk all about that because that seems really cool. And we're also going to talk about the DCU Batman plan. What is going on? Are we going on with Robert Pattinson being Batman? Are we going on with a brand new Batman? What's going on here? Then we're going to talk about Superman. We're going to be talking about Man of Tomorrow, but specifically, is that a true Superman 2 sequel or is that something else, especially with Supergirl coming out directly next year? We're going to talk about our thoughts on Man of Tomorrow and what the plot can actually entail, specifically about Lex Luthor and his dynamic in the movie. We're going to be talking briefly about Peacemaker, and we actually haven't watched it, and we kind of want your guys' thoughts on that. And then we're going to finish off the episode with what we really want to talk about, which is Kpop Demon Hunters, which we love that movie. You got me on that movie. I'm trying to get all of my homies on this movie, bro. We're going to talk a lot about Kpop Demon Hunters and what made it tick, but yeah, without further ado, man, let's get straight into it. Batman, bro. You want to start off with Clayface?
Yes. So I was in Liverpool on Monday and I just went into work remotely from the library. Then I thought, before I start working, I'll go and have a little walk down by the waterfront because I've heard that that's where they were setting up some filming. And as I was walking towards the Liver building, I just saw a car pass me and it had a Gotham license plate, and I was like, "Oh, this is cool. This is very cool." And it was the Mersey River Tours building, which is like the Mersey Tunnel, which goes Liverpool to Birkenhead. There's a huge like exhaust vent, and that building is what they've turned into a police station. And the whole front of that the whole in that street, there's like, it's just like a street in Gotham. They've got like a Gotham phone box, they've got like Gotham post box, Gotham like bins, police cars, and a Gotham Times like newspaper dispenser. Is that what you call it? Those things you have in America?
Yeah,
newspaper dispenser. Yeah. I've got a lot to say about that because I managed to get literally on the set, and I could just walk through and take as many pictures as I wanted of everything. And I've got a picture here of the newspaper because it's got literally full articles written on the cover, and I think we should try and see if there's any details in there that we can dive into. So let me just get it up on the iPad.
Yeah. I saw one specific connection that I told you about, but I'm gonna have you cover
Superman
that.
connection.
Yeah. But I'll have you.
So I'll overlay this image on the screen, but in the corner you can see it says Knights secures Meteor's star player. So that's obviously like I think the Gotham Knights, and then the Meteors is like the Metropolis team, and you see Superman fight in that stadium in Superman, which is, you know, a nice little Easter egg, bit of world building type thing. And the main article on the cover says red-handed, Gotham's infamous Jimmy McCoy caught. Now, I don't know much about Clayface apart from literally the Lego Batman games. That's my extent of my Clayface sort of knowledge. Is Jimmy McCoy, is he Clayface? Or is that someone else?
Like, I'm not gonna lie, I don't know. I don't know. The only thing, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna pretend to know so much about Clayface, bro. The only thing I really knew about Clayface was Arkham City. I don't know. Hey, did you ever play Arkham City?
Oh yeah, yes, I did.
That plot twist with Clayface was with Joker, with the two Jokers, and Batman, you know, realizing at the last minute that there were two Jokers the entire time. That's my only real knowledge of Clayface. You know, admittedly, I'm more of a Marvel guy anyway. But with that, I think is an irony too. Clayface was used in a fantastic story in Arkham City, so the character
Mhm.
does have potential to create a fantastic story in this new DC Elseworlds Clayface. I think the character has potential to be something special. I just don't know anything about him. I just don't know.
I've just quickly googled Jimmy McCoy. He's like a really sort of random DC character. He's like a gangster.
Okay.
Um, I think he was only appeared in. It seems like he only appeared in like a very small number of issues, and he was erased from existence in the Crisis and Infinite Earth storyline. So that's probably a whole other thing we can go into. But
Okay.
yeah, the cover says Gotham's infamous Jimmy McCoy caught. He isn't Clayface. He's just a gangster.
Okay.
But then there's other things like vandals deface statue, suspected mob hit on former bodyguard. The former bodyguard of Jimmy, Red McCoy, was found stabbed to death in his apartment on Wednesday morning. And then another one, a wax museum set to close. So just like some of them are general news articles to like fill the space. But I think it's so cool how they've made so much detail in the tiniest thing that literally isn't going to be seen in the movie. It's just going to be like, they could have easily filled that with like, just placeholder text. But I like that they've actually gone to the effort of filling in like all the little details like that literally aren't going to be seen on screen, but just to do a bit of world building.
It's like DC through and through. It's like DC down to the
Yeah,
minute details. Like
it's
that's classic James Gunn, bro.
it really is, and that like I said with what was it we were talking about the other day? When we talked about Spider-Man, we talked about the suit, and we said they've took that much care with the suit. They've put so much effort into this specific thing that gives us sort of reassurance that they're taking care with everything else. If they're taking so much care in these little things, it shows that it's going to be a pretty decent movie.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
and so these photos were from by the live buildings. When I went to the library to do some work, they were actually filming outside of there as well. They had turned the front steps of the Liverpool World Museum into the Gotham City courthouse, and they were setting up the filming as I went in, and then a couple hours later, when I was leaving, they were actually rolling at the time. And then it started hammering it down with rain, and I think they had to stop. Typical like Liverpool weather. But yeah, it felt very. Everything about it felt very similar to when the Batman filmed in Liverpool, because I lived in Liverpool at the time when that was filming, and it was March 2020. They were setting up to film outside St. George's Hall, and I lived literally just down the road at the time, literally 5 minutes away. And I was walking into town, and I got to get up close to all the police cars and stuff like that. But then obviously COVID happened, and they had to stop, and then they came back later that year, and it feels very similar. The aesthetic is very similar to when they filmed that the Batman in the City, because Liverpool's architecture is like it just is the most perfect city in the world to film Gotham, because they've got very modern architecture like intertwined with Gothic architecture, and that's exactly what Gotham looks like. Like that's what everyone's perfect idea of Gotham is, and it feels exactly like that, but with a little like James Gunn Superman sort of feel to it. So the police, we post this in our Instagram account. The police cars are different to the Batman. Like the police cars look sort of a bit more modern than they did in the Batman, which makes me think, this is not Robert Pattinson is not going to be the Batman in the DCU if Clayface is in the same universe as Superman, which I think it's pretty much confirmed it is.
I
Um,
don't know. Is it
because
because if it's Elseworlds,
as he said, but he said it's he said that everything going forward, well, the projects are currently in development are all in the DCU, I think, hasn't he? but he's a bit like Cody Rhodes. He does Cody lies, doesn't
I think
he?
I think James Gunn is trying to figure out what will work with his brand going forward. Because I think canon and
Yeah,
non-canon is very fluid. It's, for example, like with Peacemaker, they kind of edited out the Snyderverse League with the Justice Gang and Supergirl and Superman. So I think James
yeah.
Gunn is kind of making it canon off what kind of makes the most sense for him going forward with the least amount of world building or stakes needed to kind of change canon through a plot device, right? Like, i.e. Crisis of Infinite Earths. Like, he's just trying to just have his version of the DC go forward. And I think with James, he's probably seeing what's the most successful brand. If Clayface and the Batman 2 are making a crazy amount of money, it makes the most sense, like a free agent, to sign them rather than home grow your own talent and hope he's world class. If you already
Yeah.
have a world class, quote unquote, I'm using like football analogies here, but if you already have a moneymaker in the Batman and you already have a moneymaker in Clayface, why do you want to compete with that by creating your own in-universe version of that when
Hmm.
you can rather just sign that and make that already canon into your universe? And as James Gunn as the creative head, I'm sure he can do that. I just don't think he wants to necessarily destroy relationships and step on people's toes while imposing his vision, which I respect.
Hmm.
I think that when I saw the different logos on Gotham, the Gotham PD things, well, first of all, I think it's 100% Clayface has got to be in canon with the Batman 2. I think it's got to be in canon with that Batman
Oh, really?
universe. I think it's got to be. And I think because that really makes the Batman universe diverse and vibrant. Like,
Yeah.
Batman as a character doesn't really work that well if the world around him isn't vibrant and is just as immaculate and tactically cared for as well. The same way Spider-Man doesn't work as a character if his surrounding cast and the world around him in New York doesn't feel alive as well. Just like the
Hmm.
reason why Superman works so well in Superman, it's because the world around him is just as lively and just as filled with character and detail with him as well. He's engaged. The world around him is just as engaging as the character itself. If you have a Batman universe that spans the crime saga and the supernatural saga, i.e., he's facing Clayface and he's facing the corruption from the Maronis and Penguin now taking over Gotham City and everything like that, that really makes this Batman feel alive, make it feel like an Arkham like Batman, and
Hmm.
gives it like a DCU Batman that James Gunn is probably already looking for anyway. More importantly, Robert Pattinson has said recently in an interview, I saw it on Twitter, I think I shared it with you, he prefers the fantastical villains.
Yeah.
He like that's what he wants to face. And
It's really cool seeing Batman face like the more supernatural villains because he doesn't have powers. He's so grounded,
mhm.
and when he faces these supernatural villains, it's sort of he has to adapt and fight in ways that he's not used to. And I just love seeing the contrast of such a grounded, like literally the most grounded of the big superheroes, no powers, just using his intellect, his detective skills against a supernatural opponent. That contrast just really works well, I think.
Because it's flipping it. For the first time, Batman is being the hunted. You're going
Yeah.
from, you have a dynamic of him preying on like criminals like in a sewer, not preying like literally, but like Arkham City s, like taking them down with stealth, to now
Hmm.
escaping Killer Croc and not getting eaten. Like,
Yeah.
that dynamic is so awesome, bro. Like, Batman, and I love how there's like a dichotomy between Spider-Man and Batman fans. Spider-Man fans want Spider-Man to be more realistic and go strict, the gang banging, strict drug scene, strict crime mafia. And Batman fans want Batman to go away from that and go more supernatural and more fantastical and more superhero. I love how there's like, they want to be different, they want
Yeah.
to go, but I think that's what makes Batman tick. And also, this is what makes this version of Batman different from Ben Affleck's, from Christian Bale's, and from the Batman of before, with the exception of the Tim Burton ones, right? With the exception of that, maybe. But to see a Batman go up against the fantastical ones, it pushes the character forward because now it's forcing Bruce to grow. It's something that we haven't seen before as an audience. And also in universe, it makes sense. Gotham City is flooded.
Yes.
Have Mr. Freeze Gotham and make it different. Make it a Mr. Freeze that has a heart and you really see where he's coming from, but make him truly irredeemable too. Like, make it a heart of ice but gone wrong, like
Hmm.
the Batman the animated series. Like, have a Bruce Wayne that's truly trying his hardest to get to Freeze, but Freeze chooses to make his heart cold, which is the opposite message of what Bruce learned in the Batman, right? Where he has to be
Hmm.
more than just anger. Have Mr. Freeze just another amalgamation of that, where he chooses to give into that rage of maybe losing Nora, you know? Like
Yeah.
there's just so much you can do with that. And also, like, I know we were just talking about Clayface, but again, going to why I think Clayface is canon into the Batman universe, this Matt Reeves universe. One, at a point, like a couple years ago, wasn't it announced that Clayface was the original villain of the Batman 2? And now it's a DC Elseworlds version of the story
I
that
don't
Matt
think it
Reeves
was
is in.
officially announced, but it was heavily like rumored, I think.
Okay, so it's heavily rumored, but Matt
Yeah.
Reeves is involved in Clayface, even though it's not confirmed whether it's in
Yeah,
his version of
he's a
Batman.
producer. But
Bro,
another thing that made me sort of, so when I saw the different police cars, I thought, oh yeah, it's not going to be connected. But then I saw a video from the set from the other night. I think they were filming quite late at night, which made me think, oh, maybe they are connected. So in the Batman, they were filming outside St George's Hall, which I think in the film it was Gotham City Hall. Um, and this is a bit of a side tangent, but there's a little Easter egg when you watch the Batman. The wide shot of Gotham City Hall, at the very bottom of the screen, you see like a yellow bus stop, and they left that in. You can see a yellow M on the side, which stands for Mersey Travel. They left in like a Merseyside bus stop in the movie and didn't CGI it out as a little nod to like, oh yeah, we filmed in Liverpool. So yeah,
that's awesome.
try and keep an eye out for that next time you're watching it.
All
Um,
right.
but so they were filming there the other night for Clayface, outside St George's Hall, and that makes the filming in an exact same location that was used for the Batman, and it's such a grand, like huge building. It can only be used for something like a city hall or something like that.
Mhm.
Um, so that makes me think maybe they are connected then, if they're filming it in an exact same location that was used in the Batman.
And if it has the same architecture, same tone, same creative direction behind it, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Clayface is a test run. If it's successful and it's a smash hit, they're going to incorporate it into the Matt Reeves universe. If it's not, it's just an
And
Elseworlds type thing.
do you think that that's also a test run then for Cam? What do you think it means Robert Pattinson will be the DCU Batman?
I think that's the smart choice. I think going back
Mm-hmm.
to like the logos, like, and why I think Robert Pattinson is the same DCU Batman as he will probably be in Clayface, my theory, or as he will be the James Gunn Batman going forward. I mean, they have a different mayor now, right? Like Mayor Real, who is also the same actress who played the person that Sammy had a little bit of a munching on in Sinners. like she's the same person, Jamie Lawson.
Yeah.
I just thought that's a shout out to her. But no, what was I saying? Yeah, she's the new mayor, so maybe they're having a different branding or something like that, and this is just what Gotham City Metro looks like now, like PD looks like
Mm-hmm.
now. I don't know, that's just something that I had in universe. But I think like the character of Clayface, if you've also seen the actual like pictures of the actor himself, like he has like tape here, bandages here, like his face is literally coming apart. It's very horrifying, it's very grotesque. That's something that is in tonally that would be uniform within Matt Reeves's Batman. Like
Yeah.
tonally it fits, everything it fits. The money is there too. Robert Pattinson is the most popular Batman, I would argue, right now. When people think of
It makes sense. Like you've already got a Batman who's established, who people love, and a lot of people think is the best Batman already. So why would you try and have two Batmans sort of competing at the same time when you could have this already hugely successful Batman just easily just drop him into this new universe?
exactly. Especially the fans want to see a different Batman. They want to see an emotionally intelligent Batman. Have you
Mm-hmm.
guys, like Ollie, have you seen the buzz about Matt Fraction's new Batman run on Twitter and stuff, like the new comic Batman
Yes.
issue 1
Yeah. Yeah.
with
Yeah.
Jorge Jimenez as the artist? Pretty I'm not going to spoil it for you guys if you haven't read it, but pretty much the story encapsulates Killer Croc is on the loose, Batman is frustrated, and he's talking about can his villains actually change, because he's kind of jaded at this point. He's like, the villains can't change, they keep breaking out, whatever. And then the issue ends really emotionally poignant and really kind of like happy yet sad and melancholic at the same time. Like, and it's characteristic of Batman being emotionally intelligent and actually
Mhm.
connecting to his villains and trying to give them a chance and not making them feel as alone and isolated as a young Bruce Wayne did when he was a kid in that alleyway in Crime Alley. Like, an emotionally intelligent Batman, it's blowing up all over, and it's number one on the comic sales charts right now. Similarly, a big plus of this new Robert Pattinson Batman is the fact that he's emotionally poignant and he's raw. Like, you
Yeah.
remember how mad he was when he was like at Alfred, like, my dad was a piece of crap. Like, I'm exaggerating here. My dad was a piece of crap and he worked with that piece of crap mob dealer. Why the hell would you do that to me, Alfred? Screw my dad. Like, and then Alfred's like, no, no, no. He was a good man. He was a good man. Or when Bruce was like talking and like Bruce had a character arc, right? Like, he was kind of uppity in classes. Like, he was like saying, your friend the hooker, she knew who she was sleeping with. Sucks to suck. Be more emotionally strong next time. Be more morally strong. And then Catwoman is like, you're clearly a rich prick and you don't know what it's like to pay your bills, and telling him what it
Yeah.
is. And then afterwards, Batman's like, I am a bit of a rich prick. I do have to change. And he did change. And he the whole time, like, he was saying, also, let's talk about how Robert Pattinson, like, his character Batman, didn't figure out Riddler's plan because he didn't know what that um scalpel was for flooring, because he's not a working class man. He didn't know that the Riddler used it as a tool because he didn't know what it was. The
Yeah.
Officer Martinez had to tell Batman what it was, and then he discovered the floor plan of the flooding of Gotham. You remember that? So
Yeah.
Batman had a character arc. He had a character growth. He had flaws, an emotionally vulnerable but intelligent Batman. That's what we saw in Matt Reeves' version, and that's what we're seeing right now in the comics, and that's what the fans want. I just think, like, everything about the Batman is in tune with what everything the Batman fans want right now. It just doesn't make any sense to pull a Spider-Man editorial for Marvel and give the fans the opposite of what they want. It just doesn't make any sense, bro. This is what we want. We want to see a Batman being able to take on a crazy amount of variety of threats, because at the end of the day, we want to see a Batman rise above that all without needing superpowers. Bruce Wayne
Mhm.
is the man that makes it tick. We want to see Bruce Wayne shine. He is Batman, but
Yeah.
with heart. If your Batman can't pick up a kid and comfort them, you don't have Batman. You have the Punisher. I forget who said that, but that's what it is. That's
Oh
what we
yeah,
need.
that's so true. That's very true.
That's what we need, bro. So I think, long story short, if Clayface tonally matches the vibe of the Batman, if it matches the horror of the Batman, if it's gonna show that grotesque face falling apart that we're seeing, this slow devolving of humanity, why not? We want to see that with Batman. That's an allegory of your
Hmm.
alter ego taking your life over. That's like Batman taking over Bruce Wayne. That's an allegory. You can use that. So I would love to see a Batman face off the crime saga with Penguin and face off with the supernatural freaks with, Clayface and Mr. Freeze, maybe in the Batman too. I would love to see all of that. Um, I just don't think there's any interest in a Batman Brave and the Bold. There's no interest in seeing Damian Wayne. The rumors that we're gonna see Robin and Batman too, bro. I have more interest in that than to
Hundred
see a.
percent.
I don't know. I just don't have any interest in Brave and the Bold. We already have something good going on here. Like,
Yeah, and
I don't know.
if Clayface is part of the main DCU, it shows that like you know each sort of, even though they're set in the same universe, each film is going to have its own sort of tone and feel. Which why not just add the Batman to this universe then? If each film's going to have a different aesthetic and feel to it to suit that character, that just
Mhm.
makes sense to introduce Pattinson's Batman.
Yeah, it's and most importantly, he wants this. He wants this. He
Yes.
said he wants the fantastical. He point blank said Clayface and Mister Freeze are characters that I would love to face off. I'm
Hmm.
really hoping and praying that's a cheeky. Ha ha ha! It's gonna happen. Like, I want to
Cheeky
see a
like when Cody Rhodes pointed at Roman
it's
at the end
bro,
of the Royal
please,
Rumble, trying to force their hand of it.
bro. Yeah. Like, listen, Matt, make this happen. Like, I know Matt Reeves is prioritizing his vision and he doesn't want studio interference potentially sacrificing his quality of the story. Like, I understand that, but I truly believe this is a rare case where studio interference and studio vision might actually also be the better creative vision. I truly think that in this case, and I know that's ironic coming from a Warner Brothers hater, but this is not Warner Brothers in charge. This is James Gunn and DC Universe. So I don't know, man. I think Batman 2 with a Robin facing off against Mr. Freeze in Gotham would
Yeah,
be absolutely awesome. A Mr. Freeze that you truly relate to, but at the end of the day, his heart is frozen, so he's irredeemable. Because Mr. Freeze in a lot of the comics, he's really like, you know, especially in the new ones, like in the absolute versions, and also everything like New 52, everything before pre-crisis, and then everything outside of the animated Paul Dini iteration, Mr. Freeze is kind of horrifying. He's kind of irredeemable. Victor Freeze is kind of a freezing he's kind of Jeffrey Dahmer that freezes people. Like he's pretty, he's pretty twisted. So I think they can play along with that and make it different, make it to where he truly does love his wife, but that does make him snap and make it a metaphor on, do people's traumas, does that allow people to snap? Because Bruce
yeah,
had trauma and he became Batman. Does that justify him to snap? Because Victor, he has a very similar, position in that story, if that makes sense. I don't know. Am I making sense?
yeah.
Like
That makes sense.
I think there's a lot that they can do, and it makes sense. And having a Robin being with Batman, like, bro, they, who they should make Robin? Make it that one black dude whose his face was half skull.
Yes, I was saying that when the Batman came out. Like that makes so much sense.
Make him Batman. Make him Robin, bro. Make him
Yeah,
Robin.
because he's
Make,
clearly a kid who's like, he's is what I got from the brief moment we saw him is, he's not really got anyone at home. He's trying to find sort of his family in this group that he's with, and that just makes the perfect backstory for a Robin.
or 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 maybe I know because the fans want to see this. You know how everybody's like, we don't want to see Uncle Ben get shot. Well, everybody wants to see the Flying Grayson's rope get snapped in air and the Graysons die, and then you see Dick Grayson, like, for whatever reason, that would be a fantastic, not that I want to see death, that's grotesque, but that would be a fantastic, like, oh my God, we're getting Robin, like to see the Flying Graysons.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
real quick, because I know, I don't want to keep talking about Batman. What if they kind of subvert the whole Robin trope, and instead of having Robin one at a time, have like multiple Robins at once, and Bruce take them in all at once?
Could do, could do.
So like they like freaking Master Splinter Ninja Turtles this, like, straight up,
Oh,
instead of Bruce having, Dick at a point, and then Jason, and then Tim, and then Damian. What if he has Dick, Jason, and Tim all at once
all as
through the
Robin. You wouldn't.
Wayne?
Dick isn't Nightwing yet. They're all just Robin.
Yeah,
Yeah,
different Robins or whatever, but different. That's completely different, and I might get hate for this, but I'm just trying to figure out, like, how can we make it a little different, and having Bruce Wayne, Robert Pattinson's Batman, adopt Dick Grayson, Jason Todd, and Tim Drake all at once, and him trying to navigate that, and like being like, okay, Robin, you're coming with me this night. Okay, Jason, you're coming with me this night, and then maybe end that interpersonal relationship from Batman going from just solitary him and Alfred to now all these kids, you know, and now maybe in that interpersonal drama, maybe Tim and, maybe, or, Dick and Jason have, a rough dynamic, kind of like Leo and Raph, you know what I mean? Like they're like
yeah, yeah,
bumping
yeah.
heads, maybe Tim is kind of like the peacemaker. You don't have Damien in the picture yet, because if you go by the years, here's why I think it needs to do that. They need to do that for film, because it doesn't work in the comics this way, because if for film, actors age up, right? So
Mhm.
you can't have a Bruce Wayne with all four Robins and him still being believably 30 or 40 years old. You can kind of
Yeah,
freeze characters' age in comics. You can't do that in film. So subvert that expectation. Don't just focus on one Robin, have multiple all at once. And Batman has to train all of them. And that way, when Damian Wayne is out a few years later, Batman is older and does have the experience of three Robins, and it makes sense for his age,
mm. Yeah. I like that.
And then
It's
maybe
different.
like it's way different, and then maybe in that way, because it's a lot for Batman to handle. Now you have the death of Jason Todd.
Oh, okay.
you know, and his guilt and his like brief like like, oh my god, what just happened? I got Robin killed. No more Robins. And it still makes sense because he still has Dick Grayson and he still has Tim Drake and he's still like no more Robin. So that would make sense in universe for the next Robin to be literally his son and Damian Wayne.
Yeah, and then Dick could go off on his own and do his own thing and become Nightwing.
Yep.
And then yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
And then you have Jason Todd, like make Jason Todd Red Hood like the main villain of a movie where Batman and Robin, it's like a more adult Damian Wayne, an older Batman now facing the sins of Batman's mistakes, and Jason Todd many years later. Like
Yeah.
that's how I would do it with the Robin dynamic. Don't just have one Robin, have multiple.
Something I want to mention is, you know, something that people don't really talk about often enough is we've already been introduced to the Joker in Pattinson's universe. Like, we already know who the Joker is, Barry Keoghan, and I'm going to be honest, I don't think he's great. I think he might be a good Joker because he's a bit mental. He's a bit of a nutter. But I'm not a huge fan of him as an actor, mostly because of Saltburn when he absolutely butchered the Scouse accent. Like, it is just an absolute disgrace to Merseyside, that accent. He should be banned from ever entering the city of Liverpool because of that accent, what he did.
Is he a Liverpool fan, though? Because if he's a Liverpool fan, you got to forgive him, bro. He tried
I think
his
he's a
hardest.
Man United fan.
Okay, all right. Okay, no.
He's the reason that Sabrina Carpenter's dead to me, because when they were together, she wore a Man United shirt because she was with him, and then she's
we can forgive that. We can forgive that. You know, Sabrina, please come to. We already got what's her Dua Lipa. We already have Dua Lipa. Come over here. Come over. You know you want to come over here, man. But Barry Keoghan. But I thought Barry Keoghan's Joker was pretty cool. Like I'm talking about in the deleted
glimpse that we got. Yeah.
In the deleted, I like the deleted scene that they uploaded later. In the movie where he's just like laughing, I thought it was cool.
Oh yeah.
But I think it would be kind of interesting if they finally made Joker funny and comedic while still being evil. But this time around, don't make Joker the main focus of Batman's universe, but maybe give him one iconic movie or something. Because the Joker does need one Batman movie, sure, but maybe not like that's why I love The Batman, because it doesn't focus on the Joker that much. That's why I hope Batman 2 focuses on Mr. Freeze. Like, don't touch the Joker for a long time. Make it earned. Make it earned. That's
like he's like the Batman's equivalent of the Green Goblin. Like, he's like his absolute arch nemesis, and that's what I like about Tom Holland's universe is we haven't seen the Green Goblin yet, so we know when they build to it, when it actually happens, we're waiting for that moment. So
Ned Leeds Hobgoblin. It's gonna happen. I'm telling you. No, I think that's a terrible theory. But that would be that if they did it right, that would be cool to see. Ned Leeds as Hobgoblin. Yeah. Because a Ned Leeds who doesn't remember Peter, maybe his life is completely different. He makes the different choices. Peter Parker does have a positive impact on people.
Yeah, he doesn't have Peter there to help him.
We might see, bro, a Jacob, the CEO of Sex, all ripped up, and the Hobgoblin mask, bro. We need to see it, bro. We need to see it. We need to see it, bro. But no, I mean, Batman. I just think the money is Robert Pattinson and building that universe, especially bro, when Marvel is the only thing. If you really think about it, the MCU was at a point where Sony needed Spider-Man. Now they're at a point where Sony has more leverage in their deal. Without Spider-Man, the MCU doesn't have much going on right now.
Yeah, now, Chris Evans is, well, potentially he's coming back. That's not confirmed. But now Captain America's sort of changed and Chris Evans isn't there anymore. There's no Iron Man. Spider-Man's basically like the face of the MCU. He's the biggest character in the MCU now.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you're absolutely right. So, you're absolutely correct there. Sony has all the leverage in that deal now in any future negotiations.
You said this in our last episode, bro. When we look at the box office, Deadpool and Wolverine, Spider-Man, No Way Home, those are their biggest draws. Those are their biggest money makers.
Yeah, both films that
are
really
not.
aren't theirs, essentially.
Yeah, Deadpool they just got, Spider-Man is shared.
Yeah.
Like that, you just said it better than me. So why would the DCU and James Gunn make it easier for them as competitors? Build this Batman brand. Don't dilute it. Build it.
Yeah.
Focus on Robert Pattinson. I truly think that's what they need to do.
Hmm.
But another thing they need to do is also focus on the Superman brand.
Yes. Let's
And
talk about this.
I love Superman. It was my favorite movie of the year that has been replaced. We'll talk about by what later. But let's talk about Man of Tomorrow, dog, which
Mhm.
I'm not gonna lie, that is the fastest turnaround for a potential sequel I have ever seen. Like that is a fast turnaround, bro. We got
Yeah.
Supergirl next year, and now we have Man of Tomorrow in 2 years. Like, isn't
Considering
that?
how busy James Gunn has been as well, because like he was obviously making Superman, promoting Superman. Then whilst he was promoting Superman, he was finishing Peacemaker. Peacemaker's now coming out, and he's also the head of a studio, so he'll have a lot of other responsibilities as well. In that time, he's managed to write a sequel script.
Yeah.
Like he's the hardest working man in the comic book movie industry.
Or maybe he's had these written out and now it's just a matter of
Mm.
scheduling. Maybe he's had these written out and they're ready to go, you know?
Yeah,
Because I feel like the Superman chapter of the DC universe that they're building is all James Gunn anyway. So he has free reign to do it however way he can. I think one critique is like Marvel's pumping out too much movies, and I know the DCU just started and we're only talking about 3 movies in, not the other projects, but just 3 movies in, but that's a fast turnaround. But
very
when I
fast.
saw the image, and we'll put that on the screen, what the image of Jim Lee's writing, which he's a, or excuse me, artist, which he's a goated comic book artist. I remember reading the Jim Lee New 52 Justice League
Yeah,
run like 10, 12 years ago. That was awesome. Good old days. But yeah, when I saw the Jim Lee art of Luthor and Superman kind of has like a tool, you know, and like it's implying that they're gonna work together. And James Gunn said this isn't a true Superman sequel, which, okay, I don't know what that means or entails. If Superman's in the next movie and it's building the character and the world up, it's a sequel. I don't know what that means. Like what?
yeah.
That's like when people say he's a box to box player, or he's a, like, what does that mean? Like what? Can you score the goal or not? Can you score the goal or not? Like, what does that mean? So same thing here. It's not a true sequel. Is Superman in this movie? Yeah. Is he going to continue building on his character? Yeah. Is it going to continue to build the DC universe? Yeah. Is it pushing the characters forward, i.e., Lex Luthor and Superman potentially working together? Yes. Especially
Yeah.
after Luthor kidnapped his dog and killed Malik Ali. Yes. Like,
If he's a main character, then it's a sequel. Like Batman versus Super, it's kind of like how Batman versus Superman was a sequel to Man of Steel. It wasn't like a direct continuation of. It wasn't like a Superman solo film, but it's still a sequel because he's a
yeah.
main character.
Hmm.
It's like that. And
Yeah.
the rumors are that him and Lex are going to be like the co-main characters, which I think that's really cool.
And you know what I think they should, because I'm treating this movie as a sequel, bro. I
Yeah,
really think that the villains of this movie, I think they should just, because they've already kind of cashed in on the whole idea that the L message was not fake, correct? That it is
yeah,
real. Double down on that. I know a lot of fans are like, "Ooh, I hate that. I hate that." And we'll go into some legit criticisms of that you could legitimately argue, but I would argue that they don't apply. But a lot of people are saying this is John Byrne's version of Superman. Are you familiar with the John Byrne run?
no,
John Byrne is he's more of a conservative writer, but he pretty much emphasized the human American Clark Kent aspect of Superman more than the alien side of Superman. So
okay,
he kind of rejected a lot of his Kryptonian heritage for, oh, I'm a child of America and of Earth. So John Byrne really kind of established that American Dean Kainism of Superman, unfortunately, in the 80s and stuff like that. But I would argue like that James Gunn's Superman does not, it's not imposing that version of Superman. It does take some stuff of it, but it doesn't impose on it, and I'll argue why in a later down. But going back to Man of Tomorrow, I really do think if they're going to focus on that artistic decision of that message was real, the L's wanted Clark to come over to Earth and take it over. What would be more compelling than his parents actually surviving Krypton and coming to Earth to see the development of Clark? What if the L's come to
Like
Earth?
the Viltrumites coming to Earth to check on Mark's progress.
Yeah, absolutely. Do it. Do it. Like,
Yeah.
who cares, bro? Like,
Mm.
Invincible was inspired from Superman. It's an artistic vision to be inspired by Invincible now. Have the
Imagine
L's come to Earth.
imagine we get a fight like the season finale of Invincible with like the conquest fight, but
Mhm.
it's Kal-El versus Jor-El.
Yeah, and Lara. So here's what they should do, right? I think this. First of all, I don't think they'll do this, and if they don't do it, this doesn't mean the movie is bad. I just think this would be a cool in-universe logical way to go about it. Okay, the L's come to Earth, not Zod. They come to Earth and they're figuring out, okay, I want to see what my son has been up to, because hopefully the message wasn't destroyed and he got the whole take over the Earth, have all the, harem of the women and all that. So when the L's come to Earth and see Superman being that da 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 da, like, saving squirrels in battle, that'll make them disgusted. And imagine the last remnants of a world that he thought died, his own parents telling him, "We're disappointed in you, Cal. We're disappointed in you. Not Clark, but we're
Yeah.
disappointed in you, Cal. You're weak. You're soft. This isn't what a real kryptonite is. This isn't what our society is supposed to be. This is wrong, Maybe have that. This is, of course, not taking into account what we learn about the L's and Kryptonian society in Supergirl. This is not taking into account of that. A lot of this is
Yeah,
subject
that
to
could
change.
all change with Supergirl.
But I think that that's what would be cool, is maybe the L's come to Earth and they're disappointed with Superman. They beat him up, beat him down, and it makes sense because the only being that has beaten him in a fight up until this point is his own clone. It
Yeah.
would make sense for his parents to do it. They fight, they beat him up, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And what if the L's hate the Kents for how they raised their boy?
Oh, is that how Pa Kent dies?
And that's how Pa Kent dies. Maybe there's a heart attack. Like, I don't want to have Bradley Cooper's like Jor-El go full blown Omni Man and like freaking kill him.
Cut him
But
in half, like chopping
no,
it
like I
up,
don't.
like mortal.
Not, but maybe like an intimidation, like where's Cal? Where's Cal?
Yeah.
And like Pa Kent's like refusing to talk, and that his heart pressure is going up, and like he passes away, and Superman is too late to stop it.
I need to see this now.
So so maybe like Clark is at his absolute lowest now, and he's like, oh my god, like the same beings that saved my life and brought me to this earth have now also taken my adoptive father who raised me on this earth. The Superman family at war with each other
Yeah.
over
Oh, mate.
Superman. So then Superman has to go to the only person who can take down a kryptonite or Krypton or I can't even speak. Superman has to go to the only person who knows how to take down a Kryptonian, and he goes to Belle Reef prison and is like, Lex, I need your help to help take down my parents.
Oh,
Just
mate.
for Krypton. Just
This
for
is why
use.
you need everyone, comic book companies, you need to hire Zan as a writer. This is why.
Bro, listen, man. I need, listen, thank you, Ollie. I need to get into the field or something, bro. I need to break in somehow, some way. That's the dream. But yeah, like, what if they did that? Like, have Superman having to go to Lex and being like,
Mm.
okay, I need you to help me fight my mom and dad. And so then Lex and Superman have to team up. But and it makes sense that way because the stakes are high. You have two Kryptonians who can just destroy the planet. And it makes sense for him to go to Luthor, because Luthor killed Malik Ali and Superman loved him.
Yeah.
He would only go back to him and temporarily work with him if it wasn't for anything. And he would only do it for something that severe, something that dire, right? For his parents to come over. I think that's what they should do. And it's something different. It's something different. Having the L's come over and Superman and Lex having to team up to face them and beat them. And then from the positive publicity that Lex gets from that, he creates a campaign to become president.
Oh, yes. That fits perfectly.
Which would then in universe allow for projects for Waller and stuff like that to come out and get off the ground running.
I'm sold. If I was James Gunn, I'd green like that right now. that I do.
Thanks, bro. That's what I would do. That's what I would do for Superman too. That I think that's a way to kind of push the character forward for him to keep his spirit, but also challenge the character, and also it's
Yeah,
tonally a lot darker, right? They have
yeah,
to
I
force the
love that. It's dark, but it's also like exciting. It's something we've never seen before, and it just completely flips like subverts everyone's expectations of what we're expecting from a Superman film. It's kind of like how in the Spider-Man Ultimate comics, the new ones, um, Uncle Ben's alive and Uncle Ben's friends with JJ. Just the
hmm
way they completely flip it, and you get to you see characters that you never would have like imagined to see before in a situation that's like really interesting and new, and
hmm
it's yeah, I love it. I love that idea.
Thanks, man. I mean, yo, James Gunn, if you're listening to this, guys, if you're listening to this, clip this up, tag them, bro. Because listen, man, that we gotta push good comic book movies. With good comic book movies, everybody wins, bro. We just need the best stories, and I think that's a way to kind of push the character forward. And also, you could have a scene where maybe the L's, maybe Bizarro comes back. And they
Mm-hmm.
think he's an abomination and they kind of kill him, but he survives. But at the time, we think he's dead. And now Lex is infuriated because this version of Lex has shown that he's kind of cool with the people he works with.
Yeah,
He's like giving his employees like back rubs. He's like, yeah, high five, yeah. Like he's like really, and then he was cool with the engineer, right? Like with the engineer, like
mm,
he was like, Angela, get out of there. You won't be able to survive the blast. Like Lex is shown to be kind of cool with the people that he interacts with and who he lets, who let it, who he's cool with people who submit to him, and he would be very angry like he was in the New 52, Jeff Johns' run Forever Evil, where the crime syndicate came to Earth and the evil version of Shazam killed Bizarro and Bizarro died, and Lex was like angry and he was like, now I'm gonna kill these evil guys, right? Imagine if
yeah,
Jor-El and Lara kill Bizarro, and Bizarro is like, sorry Lex or something, and he like dies, and now Lex is with Superman, and now they're both angry. Now you have two mortal enemies united. Superman is angry that Pa Kent died, and Lex is angry that Bizarro died. Truly, buddy cop have to forcibly work together. And Superman
mm-hmm.
thinks Lex is redeemed only for Lex to flip the script and run for president and make it
Yeah.
harder for metahumans.
Oh yeah, that's perfect.
A complete 180 from Superman, where Lex is at his lowest, now he's at his highest. Like, bro, that's what I would do. That's what I would do.
Should we now move on to the main event?
I think we
The
should.
something that we both. Well, I don't know if it's better than Superman for me. I know you think it's better, but for me, it's. I don't know if it's the best film of the year, but it's by far my favorite.
It's
K-pop
music to
Demon
my
Hunters.
what you're saying is music to my ears, because K-pop Demon Hunters, guys, let's talk about this movie. We're gonna be talking about this movie nonstop now.
Yeah.
This is my movie of the year, dog. It is so damn good. And let's just talk about, bro. I don't know. Okay, I'm a grown man, right? And I don't care. This movie was making me emotional and like choked up
Yeah.
multiple times. Even in the first 5 minutes, it was so epic. It showed like like the demons coming, and then it showed like the three, like I'm getting chills talking about it, talking about like the hunters out there, and it's like and like they're like singing, and like it was so epic, dog. I was like,
Goosebumps, literal
yeah,
goosebumps.
I
Yeah.
was like locked in, and then from them to like merge the epic, we have to protect the world from demons with the Han Moon and stopping Giman, the villain, and all that, to now modern day, and they're freaking K-pop superstars who are also superhuman demon hunters. That's such a fresh twist. We don't see that, bro. And then the mate, like Rumi, Zoe, Mira, dog, they're like, I have to give them credit. They were badasses, dog. They're like killing demons and putting on their mascara and like doing their nails, all like this girly shit, but they're killing the demons. I'm like, they're so in control of this situation, dog, that they're makeuping themselves up and still whooping their ass. I was sold. I'm like, yo, these guys are badasses, dog. The
Yeah.
music, everything. This is how it's done,
Yeah,
and then they're like,
because the film itself is amazing, but then the songs being absolute rammers as well. Like, it's
dog,
so perfect.
this is how it's done. I was like, yeah, you're right about that. That is how it's done, dog. And they were like slaying the demons and everything. It was the writing was so good of the story and the songs, and then the music and everything. It was just so fresh. But the most original thing about the movie was that evil boy band, bro. Like the Saja boys, how to beat these K-pop demon hunters having an evil boy band. It's so silly and yet it's so deep and profound. Like I can just go on and on about this movie, dog. I don't want to keep talking about it, but you're the one who got me on this
I
movie.
introduce you.
So I'm gonna have you talk about it. What made you want to
Okay.
watch this movie, and what were your thoughts?
So
Because
my,
I
my
learned from you.
my first experience of watching it, I've seen it loads of times now, but the first time I watched it, I was just sat on the couch on my iPad watching Liverpool versus Athletic Bilbao preseason friendly. Nicole was just playing a game on the phone, or whatever, and she thought, "Oh, sure." Like my nephew had been going on about this film for like weeks. My nephew is obsessed with it, and he'd been telling me to watch it. So we thought, "Oh, should we just put this on?" Initially, it was just like as background noise, but then as how it done starts playing, we both look at each other and we're like, wait, is this actually really good? And then I put down my iPad, I stopped watching the match, and we just both like locked in. And then like we both we kept turning to each other like this is actually really good. And then I think it was the weekend after, or 2 weeks later, they did the sing along screening. And we went watching the sing along screening with my niece and nephew, and I got emotional in the cinema. I was nearly crying, especially at like the big climax at the end, which is just one of the greatest, like I think, ending like sequences I've ever seen, from like Your Idol, which might be the best song in the whole movie. And then Rumi coming in, and then Mia and Zoe joining it. The whole thing, we both like watching it in the cinema. I was like welling up. I was like, this is unbelievable. Because like you said, like the story, the writing is so good, and the meaning of everything, like fighting your demons, but also embracing your demons in order to defeat them, and embracing the sides of yourself that you think are ugly, that you think are bad, and actually embracing them is like your biggest strength, and that's how you can overcome like your obstacles and whatever. But then the songs just being absolute rammers as well.
Yeah,
It's I love it.
I think
No, carry on.
no, I just had a thought. Like,
Go on.
like, man, this movie is so deep. But real quick, K-pop fans, is this what it's like going to a K-pop concert? Because I never listened to K-pop before, and I'm not gonna lie, I thought the whole vibe of K-pop was not for me. Then I
Yeah, same.
watched
I
this,
thought it was like too cringy and everything, but
and now I watched this
I'm
movie, and
kind of into it.
I'm like, dog, I was like crying, and I'm like, okay, if this is what K-pop concerts are like, man, shit, I need to go to a K-pop show, bro. Like, I need to go to
Yeah,
Korea, bro.
if there's anyone watching this who knows about K-pop, let us know who we should listen to and
Yeah, I want,
who we should
I
follow.
because all I listen to is like a lot of like FIFA music and a lot of murder rap music, and now I got a lot of like,
Same.
yeah, and now I want K-pop, bro. Like you guys, please in the comments let us know who to listen to, what songs to listen to. We're newbie K-pop beginners, but now I want to be a K-pop fan, dog. Like I don't care. Like this movie, bro. I wanted to be a Huntrix Demon Hunter fan. I need a Huntrix like shirt, bro. Like yo, this movie. I want to break it down like why I love this movie, but I want to go by characters, animation, bold creative decisions, and also the songs, right? So many times during this movie I couldn't speak because if I raised my voice I would start crying. So I
Mhm.
was talking to Brie, I'm like, hey, can you get me that water over there? And she was like, what? And I'm like, can you get me that water like beside you? And she's like, why aren't you speaking up? And in my head I'm like, because then I'll start crying. It's like, bro, like that movie was so emotionally moving. And first of all, it owned what it was. This is clearly like like a female audience inspired movie, right? But
Mhm.
with that, a lot of fans, specifically a lot of men, are probably going to be turned off and like, I don't want to watch that. But this, bro, if you're on that type of, first of all, don't be a loser, don't be on that wave, you know what I'm saying? Like, watch good movies no matter what audience it's for, just watch good cinema. But if you
Yeah.
are on that energy, that this is gonna change you, bro, because at its core, K-pop Demon Hunters was really a story about it's a story about life. Like I know that sounds generic, but it really is. Let's talk about the dynamics. Like, Rumi is the main character. She's half demon and she's hiding her ethnicity. She's hiding who she is from the very people who love her, right? Like Zoe and Mira, her adoptive mom Celine. They're like saying, we can't ever, like, allow you to show them that you're a demon yourself, And I thought that was really profound because, living a life where you can't really be your whole self is kind of like a life half lived, and you don't really feel fulfilled. So when songs like Golden comes out, when she's like, you know like this, the lyrics like, we're going up, 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 it's our moment, gonna be like, shining like I'm supposed to be, like, you feel that because it's
Mm.
like music and singing is such a powerful instrument, such a powerful tool. Like, when you're singing that, you truly believe that. And that's just something that I feel like the brain and the soul understand. So that moves you, like, because you can speak whatever, you can yap, whatever, but singing it and having emotion behind it, that just
Mhm.
moves you. And so the songs really meant something. And
Especially with "This Is What It Sounds Like," the lyrics in that
oh my
one,
God,
like, broke into a million pieces and I can't go back. Now I'm seeing all the beauty in the broken glass. Like, the
mm,
lyrics are just so poignant and beautiful and just so meaningful. And they they apply. Everyone can relate to that. Every single person can relate to that because everyone has tried to cover up parts of themselves that they don't like.
mm,
And it's just I can't say enough good things.
bro. And especially like, because such of the strength of the movie, a huge strength of the movie, was the interpersonal dynamics between the characters,
Mm,
like how wholesome Bobby was. Shout out Bobby, bro. He broke the trope of a manager just trying to leech the talent of their money. He was, for the first time in a long time, a manager who truly wanted the best out of his girls. That was it.
yeah,
Bobby really just rocked with the girls. Like, shout out Bobby, bro. But
Ken Jeong as well voicing him.
fantastic performance, man. I love me some Bobby. But I really loved also about how in those lyrics, like, the Huntrix fell out, right? And that's
Hmm.
awkward. That can, like, you fall out with someone you love, that's gonna pierce your heart, right? So the lyrics, the song of the lyrics saying, like, seeing all the beauty in the broken glass, this is what this is what we sound like without the lie in our voice. It's showing, bro, shit happens, like, stuff happens, like, people crash out. Now we can sit here and, try to fix it, or we can let our emotions and our worst mistakes of ourselves define us, like Genu and the Saga Boys. Like,
Hmm.
it was really about saying that redemption isn't easy, but it is okay and everybody can do it. And like you said, we've all done stuff in our life that, we probably regret, and minus something criminal, of course. And like, you know what I'm saying? Like, minus something like that, but I'm sure, like, I have for sure. And this song, the song was saying, like, you can always come forward and move from that, like.
Hmm.
And that was the dynamic between Rumi and Genu, right? Like, literally, Rumi, she, when she discovered that Junu sacrificed his family. Also, it's a deep metaphor in how the music industry works. A lot of people say how, like, sacrifices and demons and stuff happen
Mm.
in the music industry. Well, Junu literally sacrificed his soul and lost everything for it, and he defined who he was. It wasn't until he met Rumi and how she was trying to make something out of her life and not letting that the worst parts of her life define her and trying to make something new, is where he got his soul back. Like, everything was just so profound. Like, it's just a fresh concept, dog, of like
Hmm.
K-pop demon hunters hunting demons while also singing and saving the world and moving you emotionally. Like, Zoe was a fantastic character, Mira was a fantastic character. I want to talk real briefly about the bold character decision of highlighting that the older generation was wrong here. So
Yes.
when
Yeah.
Rumi talked to her adoptive mom, her mom was like, "It's okay, we can still hide you."
Mm.
And then when Rumi was like, "Why don't you love all of me?" She was like, "I do, just the good parts." But you didn't think that while you were getting your back blown out by a demon. And no, I want to talk about this, like for real. Like I know that's a joke, but I want to talk about this because this is a thing that happens so often in America, and I don't want to make this video go completely derailed, but you can 100% sleep with people of other ethnicities, have their children, and be 100% racist and bigoted to them.
Mm-hmm.
That's where my brain went when I saw K-pop Demon Hunters.
That's not her mum though, is it?
I think, well,
I,
because I thought about it like this: why is she? I thought that the demons, they weren't necessarily evil so much as they were in control of Gima, right? And
mm,
I thought that, I'm not saying there's a specific metaphor between the humans and the demons and racial dynamics in America. That's not where I'm saying, because that can be a little problematic. But what I'm saying is, she didn't feel ashamed of the demons when she slept with one and literally had a child, but yet she's going to shame her child for something that is completely out of her control.
but didn't she kill Rumi's mum and dad though? Or is she Rumi's mum or is she like her adopted mum? I thought she was like her adopted mum.
Oh God, yeah. Oh,
And I think she killed Rumi's mum and dad.
okay, okay. Then I'm okay. Um, Scratch
No,
that.
no, I do absolutely 100%. What you're saying is 100% like correct though. With like people, you know, well, obviously I'm not. I'm a straight white man. I'm not really qualified to speak on things like that. But yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah. Bro, you listen, you're Zen verified. You can talk, bro. I give you education. You're good, bro. But no, I mean like, okay, yeah, that's why yeah, I'm wrong. So okay, so I'll go another way with it. A lot of people adopt kids from other ethnicities and then make them completely ashamed of the places that they came from.
Yeah.
So, for example, there's a UFC fighter, Michael Chandler. He adopted two black kids, and he said in an interview, "I'm not trying to raise them to be strong black men. I'm just trying to raise them to be good Americans." But if you study the historical dynamics of America and how it treats black men, in order for you to do that, you're inherently going to have to lie or cover up parts or downplay parts of why there is a distinct historical painful wedge between black Americans and America.
Yeah.
And this video isn't about that. It's just, if you know, you know. That's all I'm going to say about that.
Mm-hmm.
That's the dynamic. How are you going to adopt a demon child and then make them completely oblivious and make them feel ashamed of something that's completely out of their control?
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense. And then when this child is coming to you and saying, "Mom, I love you, I feel scared," and you're like, "We can hide the very thing that is exacerbating this to begin with." It's like, you don't love me, you love the idea of me.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why the honeymoon had to be gone, so that they can, quote, make a new one. It's on the newer generation to make a new one. Like, it was a deeply profound thing. But that's where at first I thought that she was literally her child. So because I know a lot of people here, like, that I know, unfortunately, who have mixed kids and hate the ethnicity of, the biological father, and have the kid completely self-hate because of that, and
Yeah.
while I was wrong here, and with that, I think it's very similar. You're gonna adopt a kid from a whole other group of people and then make the child hate where they're from.
Mm-hmm. That idea, by the way, of Celine killing Rumi's mum isn't confirmed. That's just a theory that
Okay,
a very strong theory that a lot of people are thinking is true.
okay. So
Yeah.
so that's even more insidious. You're gonna kill a kid, and then you're gonna kill a kid's parents, and then you're gonna make the kid hate what the parents are. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like,
That by the way is going into sort of the more um, away from the meaning of the film. That is well like where they should go for a sequel. It's sort
oh
of
yeah,
Rumi and Celine, like their conflict, because
Oh yeah.
there's so much left, so much more story left to tell there.
Hmm.
And it could
Especially,
kind of be sort of a prequel at the same time with flashbacks of previous generations of like the hunters, as we saw sort of at the beginning of the film in the different eras of like Korean music.
especially because Jinu was a demon, right? So
Mm-hmm.
he was a human, lost his soul, became a demon, got his soul back, redeemed himself, and none of that involved K-pop Demon Hunters killing him. So maybe in the sequel, she can say, "Hey, maybe we've been going about this wrong. Maybe the demons were in control, were under the influence of Gima, and maybe now they can be something new. We don't have to keep killing them." And Selena's like, "I should have never let you live. You're letting demons come back."
Oh yes,
Like something
yeah,
like
yeah,
that,
yeah.
and then um in the sequel I definitely would love to see more of Zoe and more of Mira, like
Yeah,
100%.
there's
Like,
so much to tell with them. Like
yeah,
they've got such um like deep stories to tell as well.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
uh what's Rumi Mira, what's the other one? Zoe. Yeah, Zoe, her I think her sort of traits in the film are clearly like showing that she's a bit like neurodiverse, and
Hmm.
she's got some sort of neurodiversity. Like in This Is What It Sounds Like, when she says, "Why did I cover up the colours stuck inside my head?"
Mm,
She's talking about, like she clearly got like ADHD or something like that, and all the thoughts that are going on inside her head that she sort of she doesn't want to show. She doesn't want to truly be herself because she thinks people will be embarrassed of her, or people don't want to hear what she has to say, and that's because all these thoughts inside her head are telling her that people will hate her, but she actually needs to just not stop covering that up and just be herself.
hmm.
So there's a lot. I think I really liked what we saw from her as well. I think she's a really interesting one. And then Zoe as well, like how the line, what is it? Uh, called a problem child because I was too wild or something. Now that's how I'm getting paid. So
Hmm.
she's, uh, I'd love to see about her backstory of being that, problem child,
Hmm.
and sort of her. Obviously, she's been kicked out of her family, presumably as well. She was a problem child. We don't know anything about her parents. She looks like very sort of separate from her family in that one photo that we see. So her family dynamic, that's something they can explore too. They've literally sown the seeds to do so much more in sequels.
I 100%
Speaking of
agree.
the sequel, this kind of moves on to talking about the business side of things of the movie and where Sony fumbled the bag massively. But I think I don't know what they're gonna do actually with the release of the sequel, because okay, I'll talk about how Sony fumbled the bag first. Sony Sony Pictures Animation, who is known for making great animated movies like Mitchell's versus the Machines, the Spider Verse movies, literally some of the
Hmm.
best animated movies ever made. They made this movie, presumably, like, didn't have much confidence in it for some insane reason. That's why they sold it to Netflix. They sold it to Netflix for $20 million. Right? Netflix bought this movie for $20 million. When Netflix released Sing Along Screen in theaters, they made back that money. So Netflix has basically got this film for free, and it's become the most viewed animated film on Netflix of all time, the most viewed film on Netflix of all time, the most viewed title overall on Netflix of all time. It's the first movie soundtrack since Saturday Night Fever in 1978 to have 3 songs in the top 5 at the same time in the Billboard top 5. It's broken so many records, and I think it's been helped a lot actually by releasing on Netflix, because it's the summer holidays, kids are off school, they can just watch it at home and they don't need to leave the house. They can just watch it on repeat all the time. So I think it's actually helped. I don't know if it would have been as successful if it hadn't released on Netflix, but Sony, they had this incredible film, and it's kind of a bit like Sony's deal with Spider-Man now. They've got to
Hmm.
share Spider-Man with the MCU. They're probably going to have to share K-pop Demon Hunters with Netflix. And that's where I think the sequel's quite interesting, because K-pop Demon Hunters right now is the biggest thing in entertainment. Everyone's talking about it.
It's the
Everyone's
biggest
listening
movie in
to
the
it.
world. It's the biggest movie
Yeah,
in the world.
it is. So they definitely have the potential to do like a proper theatrical release for it, because people will go to the cinemas now to see this. Like, kids will be dragging their parents to the cinemas. Parents will probably be dragging their kids as well, because adults, like, we're loving it.
Mhm.
So I think what they'll do with the sequel in terms of how they'll release it it will be very similar to what Netflix does with the Knives Out movies. So with the most recent Knives Out movie and with the new one, what's it called, Wake Up Dead Man, something like that. What they're gonna do, what they're doing with that, and what they did with Glass Onion, is for like, I think, a week or 2 weeks, like before the movie comes out on Netflix, they're giving it like 2 or 3 showings a day in a cinema. So like a limited theatrical run, and then sort of the grand release on Netflix. I think that's exactly what they should do with a sequel to this, because it was amazing watching this movie for the first time at home, but seeing it in the cinema with the big speakers on the big screen just is a whole different experience. Like, this is a type of thing that needs to be like seen in the cinema. So I think that's something they have to do with a sequel.
I think, bro, I think for a sequel, they need to like go big and go bold. Get like a movie soundtrack, like the same way the Spider-Verse movies had a soundtrack, like the same way they just did right now. Get like real K-pop artists on there, like the biggest ones. I know Megan Thee Stallion is a huge K-pop fan. Get her on a couple songs. Like,
She's actually on a remix of one of the songs that is. So I think one of the songs that's in the background in one of the scenes in the movie. I
okay,
think it's when they're in their apartment or something. What's the song called? Strategy by an actual K-pop band called Twice. There's a remix of that song with Megan Thee Stallion on it.
okay, so perfect. There's a
Yeah.
connection. Get the biggest stars on it, advertise the living crap out of this movie a year out in advance, get the biggest artists on there, make it like a whole movement. Like, get like NBA players, get like, like football players, like get athletes, get like celebrities, have Twitch streamers talk about this. Bro, this is the biggest movie of the year. Like, and honestly, a lot of those athletes are probably going to benefit more from those deals than the movie itself. That's how huge it is. Like, a
Yeah.
lot of those streamers who are going to create content for this movie, like us, we're benefiting from this movie existing, bro. Like, this movie is huge. Like, and let's talk about the fact that if these boys were real, like the Saja boys were real, our souls would be taken. Doug, Your Idol is probably my favorite song. It's like, I want to go with Your Idol was probably my favorite song. That
I
one
agree.
was
I
just
100% agree.
so cold. That one was just so cool. The line where he's like, "You will all be free when you give yourself to me." Bro, that's such a villain line. It's so cold. I love that one. This is how it sounds like. That one is like number 2. That was so powerful when they're
The
singing, and
lyric just
it's just it's a spiritual rejection of lies and living authentically as yourself. I can't even speak. Like, I love that one. Golden, like, this is, we're going up, 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 it's our moment. Man, I wish I was in the theater to watch this, bro. The This is how it's done. I really love that one. But I have a hot
Yeah.
take. Soda Pop is my least favorite one.
It's hard to say because they are all so good. I do love Soda. Sometimes I find myself just singing it to myself, but
You're my little soda pop.
it's hard because putting it at the bottom it not isn't necessarily saying it's not a great song. It's just because all the others are so incredible.
Mm-hmm.
It's so hard to rank them, but I do agree that Your Idol is number one.
Your Idol, bro. Like, everything, dude. If these guys were real, they would. Aren't they like number 1 on Spotify right now?
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. They got a songs from animated movie is number 1 on like, bro. That is crazy.
Also,
Dog.
Huntrix is the first girl group that I think have what was it? I think it's like 4 songs or 5 songs in the Billboard Top 100 at the same time since Destiny's Child.
We love Huntrix. We love Huntrix. I'm a Huntrix fan. I'm a Saja Boys fan, bro. I'm into K-pop now, man. I got to
Oh,
start
me
watching.
too.
Korean guys, let us know if you want us to watch Korean dramas and stuff. We can review
Oh,
that. Like,
some great Korean films out there. Some
bro,
unbelievable Korean movies out there.
we got
And
a whole new world
speaking
of
about,
entertainment opened up because of
oh, we
this
do.
movie. Yeah.
Speaking about the singers, though, for a second, the singing voice for Rumi, I think you say EJ, is the musician who does the singing voice. Nicole was telling me, she saw like an article or like a video. Her voice is, I don't know the technical term, but her voice is like a certain type of voice, like, you know, they have like vibrato, soprano, all the
Hmm.
different types of voices, because her natural voice is quite deep and quite low, but she
Okay.
manages to hit those high notes as well. And there was like a singing expert saying she shouldn't be able to do that with the type of voice that she's
Wow.
got. She physically should not be able to do that because of like how her voice is, but she still hits those notes. Like her range is like unheard of, and that's just another sort of incredible thing about this movie. Like,
Bro, shout out
that's
to her, bro.
yeah, she's got like the like this human who is doing the voice has got the like a similar power to like the hunters. They've got this supernatural singing ability. Like she has that in real life.
She is a K-pop demon hunter in real life, man. That's what
Yeah,
you're saying. She literally can protect
EJ.
us with the Han Moon, bro. Like, dog. Like, I what I love about this movie is the fresh dynamic, like a music-based movie that deals with saving the world and K-pop demon hunting, and the villains being an evil boy band, and that boy band actually being good at music. Like, bro, like there's just so much I can say. Like, the character dynamics, him at like Ginu sacrificing himself was so sad, but that love making her stronger and beating Gima, like it's just so thematically deep and powerful. This movie moves you, bro. Like I was emotional. Those first 5 minutes where they're talking about throughout the centuries, and like, you know, all of the hunters, their voices have to be strong throughout the centuries and they're protecting the world. I was like captivated. I was like, yo, I want to be one too. I
Yeah.
want to be one too. Like, bro, like it was just so cool. And like, you know, girl media doesn't get a lot of cool movies, so the fact that, you know, little girls all over the world can like watch this shit, like women, you know, grown men can watch this shit and like take something from it, and like, bro, I'm gonna go to the gym and work out to the soundtrack. Shit, you already know.
Oh yeah,
Like,
I've been running to the soundtrack. Like it's the best workout music ever.
it's incredible. Like, bro, like truly this movie is a fresh tidal wave that the entertainment
Mm,
industry really needed. But before we go, I want to talk really quickly about another musical based movie that dealt with horrifying themes, and that is Sinners. There's a lot
mm,
of similarities between Sinners and K-pop Demon Hunters, bro,
100%.
especially with the influence of music and everything like that.
And the different generations of musicians having that ability.
Hmm. Like,
Mm.
bro, I need Sammy to get on a remix with the K-pop Demon Hunters, bro. Like,
Oh my god.
the vampires and the demon hunters, the vampires and the demons are out of there, bro. Like, no, like everything, like. But what I will say, and they're both fantastic movies. I love both of them. I think for me, Sinners was more of like a melancholic study of the Black experience in America, using the music, using the paranormal stuff to describe what it actually feels like to be a Black person in America. Versus K-pop Demon Hunters wasn't more of a study of an experience, but more of like a Superman type of movie, like an injection of hope and an injection of just energy you just need in the soul, while also talking about contemporary themes, but from a more lighthearted perspective. I would say, um, both same sides, different sides of the same coin, I would say, but
Mhm.
both had to deal with cultural music, and I loved it. I thought that was just weird that there's two very similar, very fantastic movies coming out in the same year. That can't be a coincidence, bro. Like, I don't know. I just thought that was a pretty cool observation.
Yeah.
Um, but
You know, I think this discussion we were gonna we were planning on like just the last little section of the podcast being this, but I think what I might have to do, I'm gonna leave this within this episode. I might also cut this out and just put this out as its own thing. Us
yeah,
talk this discussion about K-pop Demon Hunters, because there's just so much to say about this movie, and
yeah.
I think we've done longer on this than we did on Batman and Superman.
Yeah, yeah. We've talked longer about this movie than we did Batman and Superman and any of the other. Like, bro, like this. I just it's this is a movie that AI could never make. This is a
Yeah.
movie that this is a movie that you know deadlines and crunching and can never make. This is just fresh. This is just something you make. It's pure from the heart. Shout out to the entire team behind Kpop Demon Hunters, the musicians, the artists, the actors. Everybody did an incredible job. Everybody should be proud of the work that they've done. This is my favorite movie of the year. It's this and
Yeah.
Superman. It's this and Superman, and both of them had fantastic musical scores. It's this and
Yeah.
Superman. Like,
It's. I think this year has been a great year for movies. To be honest, like
yeah,
overall, I think there's been some really incredible movies this year, like meaningful, but also entertaining. And it's been a good year for horror movies too.
hmm
And I think this summer as well has been some really good movies this summer.
hmm
Um, and also the rest of the year as well. There's a lot of great movies coming out. Um,
good
like
boy.
Good Boy. I will see it. I will see it because we're
You
gonna have to
gotta
talk
watch
about
it,
it.
brother. You gotta watch it.
Um, what else is coming out? The Running Man looks incredible. The Running Man remake, directed by Edgar Wright.
hmm
New Predator movie looks decent. Um,
Avatar: Fire and Ash.
Avatar: Fire and Ash. Of course, we're gonna be talking a lot about that because if you've never listened to us before, Zan is a huge Avatar fan.
Listen, man, I'm always a fan of very evil, crazy women, and it seems like there's gonna be a very psycho Navi, and she's burning stuff, and she's burning my spirit too. I need it, you know. I love me some evil Navi, you know. Like, but we, I tend to talk about that. But yeah, no, that's gonna be exciting too. There's a lot of really good stuff coming out. Also there's like a Pakistani film, an animated film coming out called The Glassmaker. It's like
Okay.
a Studio Ghibli film. Um, it's gonna be coming out in Ohio, I want to say in like a couple months. So I'm probably gonna like watch that. And if you guys want us to talk about that, we'll talk about that because that's getting potential Oscar early early talk. So I want to like watch that and check that out and see if you know the hype is worth if it lives up to the hype. Um,
I'll have to keep an
K-pop,
eye out, see if it's released in UK cinemas. Hopefully it is. Hopefully I don't
the
have
the,
to
gl- the
get a
glass
VPN.
worker, the glass worker by written by Osman Riaz. Yeah, like that's supposedly like really good. That's something I want to watch.
Okay.
Um, there's it's been a really fantastic year for movies. 2025 has been awesome.
Oh, also,
2027.
Smashing Machine is also coming out this year. I think Dwayne Johnson's getting an Oscar nomination for that.
Bro, okay, that I want to see that because The Rock, it seems like he's beaten the I'm a washed actor allegations. Like it seems like
Yeah.
The Rock has locked in and is like, all right, enough. I didn't get that Roman Reigns WrestleMania match, so I'm getting an Oscar. Screw it.
Yeah.
Like let's do it,
I
bro.
think
Like,
he'll definitely be nominated. I think he's got stiff competition with Jeremy Allen White in the Bruce Springsteen biopic because the Oscars love a musical biopic.
oh yeah.
So I think
Oh,
Jeremy Allen White's probably the front runner, but The Rock's. I don't think it's. I don't think it's insane to say he might win it.
bro, if because
With the early reactions to that movie.
everybody always says Cena and Batista are better actors than The Rock. So that Rock, get yourself an Oscar, man. Like, you know, like lock in, find a way to do it. A lot of great movies, bro. A lot of really great movies, a lot of potential movie news too regarding Doomsday, regarding Brand New Day that we will cover in a future episode. Before we head off today's episode, because we're probably going to talk about K-pop Demon Hunters a lot. I could definitely see today's videos coming a lot.
Oh yeah.
Before we head out, because I want to say thank you to everybody. Like I used to, so I'm not gonna say the place where I worked because like privacy, but I worked at a place for like a couple years, 3 years working with like autistic kids and stuff like that. And I don't work there anymore. I'm kind of moving on in a different venture of my life, teaching second graders. So that'll be fun. But the kids, they're autistic children who I work with. The kids and the staff who I work with, they kind of made um, a little superhero inspired book because everybody kind of knows, you know, superheroes are kind of what we do. So a lot of the kids, and I'm not going to put their names, they wrote their names because like weirdos, but yeah, like they like wrote and like they like colored like superhero stuff for me and stuff like that. I've been working with these kids for 3 years for a long time. I had a introspective thought, because working at, with autistic children for 3 years is, well, really for 5 years of my life now, because I worked at another place before. um it requires a lot of like patience. It requires a lot of like, frankly, the ability to take punishment. It requires a lot of just emotional grit and toughness. And I was at a point where I was burnt out, and I was at a point where I felt like I needed a different change. That just made me kind of like sad to kind of leave where I'm at, because unfortunately these services that where I was working at, they kind of go away when these kids are adults. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
the cute factor is gone. The ability to kind of physically manage them is gone. When they can physically overpower you, now people don't want to work. And I understand that to a degree, but there was a bit of sadness where I'm like, some people tend to give up on these kids, and it can be easy to at times. And I saw, even at this kid's quote unquote worst, they still had more patience and mercy than a lot of people. And everybody deserves a chance to live and be happy. You know what I mean? Everybody deserves a chance to experience life. People's worth shouldn't be on whether it's easy to be in public, it's easy to go out, it's easy for you to be here. Your worth in life shouldn't be on your productivity, on whether it's easy. Everybody should have the ability to experience life and be happy no matter what it is. And that's just something that I kind of took away from there. So I'm gonna miss that for sure. But I just wanted to briefly shout out the people I was working with over there, because I'm gonna miss them, and I'm gonna miss a lot of the kids there. But onto onto newer things. And by newer things, I mean blowing up this podcast. And by blowing up this podcast, it means thank you for watching today's episode. Like, share, subscribe to the Nuff Said podcast. We also make TikTok reels and stuff. We clip it up. Go ahead, repost those, like those, share those. Really trying to get bigger. We've had a massive blow up in our views lately. Thank you for almost 30,000 views on our Batman meme video. That was awesome. You guys are the best. We do have an audience, so I really appreciate that. We work really hard on this. This is all we do, man. We just talk about superhero shit and movies and cinema and everything that makes us happy. And like the K-pop girls said, this is our moment, right? So that's what we're trying to do. But with that, that's enough said. With Zan and Oli signing off now. Take care, guys. Thank you for listening.
Take care. Thanks for listening.